Good morning, everyone. I am in Philadelphia, more specifically the Fishtown neighborhood, and I thought I would check out Penn Treaty Park. So I grabbed my camera and thought you might like to come along. So let's check out Penn Treaty Park. So I might have mentioned this in a previous video, but I actually lived in Fishtown. I moved out of Fishtown in 2021. Early 2021. So just to give you an idea, so much has changed since then. That's Peace Treaty Park right over there. So we're going to check that out. But I'm walking along what used to be a Pico power plant. And now it is the Battery, one-of-a-kind lifestyle campus. So this place is beautiful. It's pretty amazing. I'd like to go in there. Anyway, I'll do that in a different video. This video is not about condos. But I do want to walk down a little bit further before we explore Penn Treaty Park, which is really cool. It's the site of where William Penn signed a treaty with the Lenape Indians. I believe in, I want to say 1683. Okay, this. So here's some old remnants of the old power plant. And we have a ship passing by, so that's cool. That always makes for good video, right? So I say this has to do with the power area, Pico power plant, which it most likely does, but it was a, you know, obviously, I don't know, I'm really thinking out loud here. Maybe when the anthracite coal somehow was delivered here to power the plants, but you can still see, it says the Philadelphia Electric Company still on the front. Repainted, so I guess we're, you know, keeping some of the history alive, which is always a good thing. This is kind of cool, some old ironwork. I kind of like that they're keeping that there. All right, so this is Penn Treaty Park. We have a couple guys playing checkers over there, or chess, checkers or chess. And the playground. So before we explore the park, I want to check out this historical sign, marker, historical marker. Traditional site of the treaty between William Penn and the Indians. Here is the William Penn statue. Not sure you can see it, but there is a pigeon in his hat. Yep, that's Philly. Founded 1682, commemorated in 1982. So I guess this statue was put up in 1982. Yep, we got that pigeon in the hat. I love seeing these flowers blooming too. Spring is in the air. It's probably about 60 degrees today, and it's March 16th. Penn Treaty Park, a place of peace. A great elm blew down in 1810. So I guess there was a great elm tree here where supposedly William Penn signed a peace treaty with the Lenape Indians. The more I read about William Penn, the more I like him. He definitely tried to be fair, or at least more than most of the European settlers.
A different playground.
So I might be wrong, but I think, okay, I'm not going to say, but I think maybe this is where the elm tree was. On this site, 1682, William Penn signed a treaty with the Delaware tribe of Native Americans. So they are the Lene Lenape Indians, but they used to be referred to as the Delaware Indians. The tree was destroyed during a storm on March 3rd, 1810. This direct descendant of the original tree was planted on Arbor Day of 1993. Wow, that's hard to read. So that's kind of cool, but this doesn't look like a tree. So I don't know. Right? Maybe they planted a tree and that tree didn't survive either. I just don't know. Maybe you do. If you do, please leave it in the comments. So supposedly a descendant of the tree was planted there in 1993, but I don't see it. So let's check out this little monument over here. See if that tells us anything. All right, so William Penn, born 1644, died in 1718. I'm sure you're not going to be able to read that, but that's what it says on this little monument. Placed by the Penn Society, 1827, to mark the site of the great elm tree. Okay, so this is telling me that this was placed in 1827 to mark the site of the great elm tree. And that plaque is telling me something totally different. So I don't know, maybe that's up for debate. Was the elm tree here or was the elm tree over there? We just don't know. So are these elm trees? I'm actually asking a question here because I know very little about trees, and I know I talk about this in every video. I'm going to research and learn a little bit more about the trees in Pennsylvania, but there's a lot of these in the park. So I don't know, I'm guessing there are elm trees, but maybe not. Maybe that is an elm tree over there. Oh, check this out. Okay, so site of the Nephi Levy Ship and Engine Building Company, 1838 to 1908. So that's what this was initially. And then the first steam fire engine of the city of Philadelphia was built here. The USS Bainbridge, the first destroyer of the United States Navy, was constructed here. So I guess it had quite a history before it became a power plant for the Philadelphia Electric Company. Now this tree here, this is an old tree. I'm thinking it wasn't here when William Penn was here, but one never knows. So one of the things I find is you think that you're going to see the really old trees, or at least I thought this before I really learned a little bit more about Pennsylvania, out like in central PA or, you know, just kind of out in the middle of nowhere. But that's not the case because it was all forested. I mean, they tore down almost every tree. The lumber industry was huge, especially in central Pennsylvania. So I find, since doing this YouTube channel and exploring, I find a lot of the older trees closer to cities like Philadelphia. All right, let's head down to the river. So when the pandemic hit in 2020, I was not one of those people who would stay indoors. I can't. I have to get out. I either had to go running or jogging or whatever. So I would come here a lot, pretty much every day, because I was living in Fishtown. I wasn't going to an office anymore. And so this place holds a lot of, I guess, good memories for me, because it was sort of a place of solace. And the funny thing is, there was like no one down here. And when I say during the pandemic, I mean March of 2020, maybe mid-March, when everything shut down. I kind of wish I would have taken more photographs, because, or I wish I would have had the YouTube channel back then, because I used to go out running regardless. I had to. I would run with a mask, as crazy as that seems. It was, you know, we were scared early on. I stopped wearing the mask pretty early, but in the beginning, I always had a mask on, and I was washing my hands. They told you to keep washing your hands. But anyway, I would run around Fishtown, run into Center City, and there were very few people, no traffic. There we have a couple of Canadian geese making their way along the river. Nice shot of the Ben Franklin Bridge. As I climb along these rocks. Another thing, like when I lived in this area, on July 4th, this was a great place. It was a little known secret at one time. I think everybody knows it now. But it was a great place to come down and watch the fireworks, because they would shoot them off. That's Penn's Landing down there. I don't know if you can see that ship under the bridge, but straight down is Penn's Landing, and they would shoot the fireworks off on July 4th. And it would be cool to go to Penn's Landing, but the problem with going to Penn's Landing, you couldn't park if you were driving. So, you know, you'd have to, anyway, you have to deal with all the crowds. Here, I would just walk over here, watch the fireworks, and call it a night. Okay, so I'm gonna check out this tree, see if there's a sign here. I would love to find out exactly where the famous great elm tree was. I'm seeing two different plaques that are kind of contradicting each other. Let's see what this one says. Historical Penn Treaty Park, the great-grandchild of the original Peace Elm under which the Peace Treaty was made in 1682. Okay, so this is the descendant of the original elm tree. Okay, so provided that plaque is correct, we found the descendant of the original elm tree. But it's funny because this plaque makes it sound like it was planted there. Got a little turtle here, dedicated in 2013, sculpted by Roger Wing. Translation: name is, oh, I can't read that, but anyway, friendship, so that's cool. And we are back looking at William Penn. Okay, so I think we covered Penn Treaty Park. I just want to thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much, and enjoy your day. Take care, everybody.